Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome if you're new. Thanks for taking time out of your day to check the video out. We have more PlayStation news, rumors, and leaks to go over and cover here today. Some of the topics we're going to be talking about: how the PlayStation 5 performed for September 2023. We have some surprising data to go over and discuss. We're talking about how, according to one analyst, they believe Sony is under tremendous pressure to now make a major acquisition of their own as a response to the Microsoft ABK deal. We're talking about Spider-Man 2, and we're also going to be talking a little bit about Silent Hill Accession. So before we dive into these topics, do me a big favor. If you end up enjoying this video or finding it informative, be sure to leave it a like. It helps the videos out more than you know. And if you are new here to the channel, please consider hitting that subscribe button as well. Starting here with some surprising data for the PlayStation 5, I have an article here from Push Square, and the title reads, September 2023 Circana, PS5 still on top despite the chart-topping Starfield. The PS5 console was the best-selling platform in terms of both units purchased and dollar sales in the US last month, despite the release of Starfield on rival hardware. The PS5 topped the hardware chart on both fronts, with the Xbox Series X and S taking second, and then the hybrid Nintendo Switch in third. Still, the Bethesda RPG was the best-selling game for September of 2023, with Mortal Kombat 1 and EA Sports FC 24 taking second and third, respectively. The Circana charts are based on dollar sales, so Xbox Game Pass downloads are not counted towards Starfield's chart-topping position. It's now the 7th best-selling game of 2023 overall, and Mortal Kombat 1 the 8th. In terms of other new releases for September, Payday 3 came in 5th, NBA 2K24 took 6th, and the Crew Motorfest lined up in 7th place in the charts. Liza P didn't make the top 20. Cash spent on gaming accessories increased last month, fueled by the new PS5 DualSense controller themed around Marvel's Spider-Man 2. It was the best-selling gaming accessory in September 2023, with consumer spending on gaming pads up by 15% compared to this time last year. So I figured this data was worth going over because honestly, it is kind of surprising to see that the PS5 is still the best-selling console for the month of September. There were no major PlayStation exclusives released during that month, and instead their rival had one of the biggest releases that clearly did very well here. But it just goes to show how much momentum the PS5 console still has. It's seemingly unstoppable at this moment in time. If there was ever a time where you thought maybe the PS5 would have come in second place behind the Xbox consoles, it would have been with something like this, with the release of Starfield. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on that. We're moving on to the second topic. It says here, being reported by PlayStation Lifestyle, analyst says Sony may be under pressure to make major PlayStation Studios acquisitions after Microsoft's purchase of Activision Blizzard. It wasn't all smooth sailing for Microsoft, but it ultimately succeeded in convincing all but one regulator, that being the FTC, to approve the deal, which analysts say may compel Sony to respond in kind. Canton Games CEO Dr. Serkan Todos told GamesIndustry.biz that he expects more investments and acquisitions from Sony, including, quote, a large one that would move the needle for them in a meaningful way, end quote. He's the view that despite its acquisition of Bungie, Sony's probably under pressure to react to Microsoft's move. Ampere Analysis Pierce Harding Rolls concurs and thinks Sony will actively pursue mergers and acquisitions. That said, he believes Sony will maintain its dominant position in the current console generation. Toto also expects Sony to continue focusing on $70 blockbusters. Medea Research's Coral Severin added that other than games, Sony has a unique edge in film, TV, and music. She is of the view that Sony can utilize its entertainment business to its advantage. Analysts reckon that Sony can't continue competing with Microsoft over video games alone unless it acquires a company like GTA publisher Take-Two Interactive, which is highly unlikely to happen. So I wanted to take a moment to talk about this because it is certainly something that I think is on everyone's mind right now, knowing that Microsoft closed the ABK deal. Is Sony going to react? If they do, what are they going to do? Are they going to pursue a major acquisition, a major publisher? Are they going to just stick to smaller to medium-sized acquisitions? It's difficult to say, but it is certainly interesting to hear from multiple analysts kind of in agreement with one another saying, yeah, it seems like Sony is going to go in this direction. It is worth noting with Jim Ryan getting ready to retire in March of next year, Hiroki Totoki is going to take over as interim CEO. He is the president and CFO of Sony. He's made it clear in the past that he is not against consolidation, and he even stated that he does not want to see Sony get left behind in this area. So you can kind of understand why these analysts are coming to the conclusion that it seems likely this is what Sony's going to do. Now, it'll be very interesting, number one, if Sony does end up pursuing the acquisition of a large publisher in and of itself, but it's also going to be even more interesting to see which publisher they may actually try to acquire and how they're going to handle it. If they were to acquire a big publisher, would they make all of their games exclusive going forward to PlayStation? Would they only make some exclusive, or would they make none of them exclusive? It's really difficult to say. And then there's also the conversation as to whether or not this would actually be a good thing for not just Sony, but the industry. Further consolidation, further escalation in this area. It seems like it's definitely not a good thing to see this continue to happen, but at the same time, I think everybody would be able to kind of rationalize and understand after seeing what Microsoft just pulled off why Sony would end up wanting to go out and acquire a publisher of their own. But there you go. That's what these analysts are saying. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. We're moving on to the next topic, which comes from WCCF Tech. They say, first, Spider-Man 2 PS5 comparison video shows amazing visuals even in performance mode. Ahead of the game's global launch later this week, the first Spider-Man 2 PS5 comparison video has been released, comparing the game's different visual modes to each other. Reviews for Insomniac's highly anticipated Spider-Man 2 sequel dropped a few days ago, and going by these reviews, we're looking at yet another masterpiece from Insomniac. In our own review, we praise the game's outstanding visuals and performance, as well as the story, the traversal system, and more. And looking at the graphics and performance comparison video from YouTuber analysts, we can safely say that Insomniac has delivered. Spider-Man 2 on PS5 includes two visual modes, a quality mode and a performance mode. The quality mode prefers resolution and visual fidelity and runs the game at a dynamic 4K 30 FPS. The performance mode runs at 1440p at 60 frames per second and lowers the rendering resolution, quality, shadow filtering, NPCs, and traffic count, draw distance, reflections, and ambient occlusion. It should be noted that the game is also able to run at 120 Hz aside from the standard 60 Hz mode. At this higher refresh rate, the rendering resolution is lowered to 1800p in quality mode in exchange for a higher frame rate at 40 FPS. As mentioned in the comparison video, the 120Hz mode supports VRR, and players can pick between two different VRR modes: a soft mode, which benefits frame rate without compromising resolution, and an unlimited VRR mode, which favors the highest possible frame rate in exchange for a lower dynamic resolution range. Going by the comparison video, it appears that performance mode will be the favored visual mode for many players. Although there are some visual differences with quality mode, these are minimal, and benefiting from higher frame rates without losing ray tracing support seems the way to go. And so yeah, as you can see here, Insomniac truly went above and beyond with the different modes that you can play this game in when it comes to the quality mode and the performance mode, giving you all of these options, even adding VRR modes that you can choose from. But it is true that if you watch this video, it does seem pretty clear that the performance mode is the way to go. I think there will always be some people who are going to play in the quality mode and stick to that 30 FPS, but it just goes to show how impressive Insomniac really is when it comes to optimization and squeezing everything they can out of this console, because the performance mode looks stunning. It does. It looks pretty much just as good as the quality mode in many instances. So let me know which mode you're going to be playing in. Moving on from that, we have a small update when it comes to Spider-Man 2 and its Day 1 patch. This was actually tweeted out by Insomniac Games. They say here, keep up with the latest updates for Marvel's Spider-Man 2 PS5. Hey everyone, on October 20th, you'll finally experience Marvel Spider-Man 2, and we couldn't be more excited since going gold, our team made noticeable enhancements to Marvel Spider-Man 2 that we'd love for you to experience from the very beginning. The disc contains the entire game and is playable from start to finish with no patch or online requirement, but for the best experience, we highly encourage physical/disc-based players to download update version 1.001.002 on launch day prior to experiencing the opening mission of the game for the first time. Digital players, don't worry, if you preload the game, the digital version of the game, you'll get this patch already loaded in. This update features polish to the gold version of Marvel Spider-Man 2 available on disc, which improves the opening sections of the game and includes other general refinements to your experience, including some additional accessibility options. So I wanted to be sure to let everybody know about this because Insomniac is just making it clear that you do not have to download any patches to experience Spider-Man 2 from start to finish with the physical version, but if you want to get the best possible experience, they've made some improvements between the time they went gold and the time they released this patch. But we are going to move on to the final topic of this video, which talks about Silent Hill Accession. This is once again being reported by PlayStation Lifestyle. Interactive streaming series Silent Hill Accession will stream on the PS5 and PS4 via the Sony Pictures Core app. Series creator Genvind announced its partnership with Sony Pictures Entertainment to bring the series to PlayStation consoles alongside Bravia TVs and Xperia smartphones. Ascension is billed as a mind-bending choose-your-own-adventure that'll be shaped by millions of viewers. It's unclear how many episodes it'll have, but Konami and Genvid plan to run the series for up to 6 months. Other than Sony's platforms, Ascension can be streamed on a desktop browser, iOS devices, and Android devices via the App Store and Google Play, respectively. So yeah, I wanted to let you guys know about this because Silent Hill Accession is releasing very soon, and I wanted to let you know that they're partnering specifically with Sony when it comes to the Sony Pictures Core app. This isn't that surprising. We know that Sony and Konami have a pretty strong partnership, with the Silent Hill 2 remake being a PS5 console exclusive, but it seems like they're taking it a little bit further here and doing something else with Silent Hill Accession. But guys, that's going to do it for this video. I hope you did enjoy it. I hope you did find it informative. Again, if you did, be sure to leave the video a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, hit the bell notification icon, and feel free to share this video out on top of all that. But until next time, guys, take care.